Supernatural is a show that I half love and am half indifferent to. The reason being is because as a serialized series, Supernatural can become very boring. I prefer the episodes that are more episodic, the stuff where you can jump in and watch without really worrying about what the overall story is. It's one of the reasons why I really love the episode Scoobynatural. So this episode begins with Sam and Dean finding a giant possessed stuffed dinosaur. They end up defeating the dinosaur, and the shop owner is so grateful that they exploded the stuffed animal that he gives them whatever they want from the shop. We also see Jay come in trying to make sure that everyone is safe. This man owns pretty much everything in the surrounding area. For those who know the Scooby-Doo formula, you're correct. And for those who don't, this is important later. So Dean takes up the shopkeep's offer and claims a flat screen for his man cave. Dean turns on the TV and the two brothers get sucked into the TV via purple energy.
Dean? What just... Ah! You're a cartoon!
They quickly realize they're in a cartoon and animated.
Dude!
It's not a dream. Holy crap.
How did the car get here?
I had the keys in my pocket? Look, are we animated? Yes. Is it weird? Yes.
Getting over the shock of their new surroundings quickly, they drive to a malt shop where they come across the iconic mystery machine. So they go inside, and across the malt shop, they spot the Scooby Gang. Dean is super jazzed about this, and Sam is a little more than apathetic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Before this episode came out, I haven't watched Supernatural in a long time. The newest episode I saw before this one was back in Season 9, which I saw when it came out. So I don't know the characters of Sam and Dean as well as I would like for this video. But to my knowledge, Dean has never shown this side of him before, to which I'm talking about the nerd side.
We're stuck in a cartoon with a talking dog.
Not just any talking dog. The talking dog. Greatest talking dog in history. Now come on.
Also, he really likes Daphne in this, which leads to a lot of really funny moments. He also doesn't like Fred. So they introduce themselves and give us a taste of what's come later in this episode.
Scooby's been named as one of the heirs to a fortune.
Okay, but he's dead now, right?
Yeah, cancer.
So this episode is an homage to Scooby-Doo, obviously. It's also written in a comedic style that mixes the corny nature of old Scooby with the style of Supernatural's humor. So a lot of the jokes like this one here can be considered anti-humor. Most shows would have the way the Colonel died be the joke, but instead, this one is set up in a very particular way. Sam asks about the Colonel being dead, then Fred says something serious, and the punchline, instead of being how the Colonel died or what the Colonel died of, then becomes the dead silent reaction of the rest of the cast. Anyway, Sam and Dean have a sidebar, and Sam pokes more holes in the reality they found themselves in. They end up joining the gang for a mystery, but before they leave, Dean does what I'm sure we all have wanted to do at one time or another.
Oh, heck yeah. There. Look how big my mouth is.
So on the way, Dean challenges Fred to a race up to the mansion. Fred ends up winning, leading to this reaction.
Did you just get beaten?
The light was red. The light... Fred!
So they get to the mansion, and after setting up the main plot of the Scooby episode, Sam pokes a hole in the setup. Velma then misunderstands what Sam was getting at, also stating that ghosts don't exist, and Dean stops Sam from telling them that they're in a...
Dude, what's wrong with you?
They don't know that they're in a C word, and we're not going to tell them. Turns out, he's the bad guy.
You don't say.
Dean, spoilers, come on! So everyone turns in for the night, and we see Dean and Sam talking before the mystery proper begins.
Dude, eat.
Relax. In a few minutes, we're going to find out that Cousin Simple's missing. Told you.
So this is where the episode takes off. Almost immediately, Sam reveals that the first victim was actually killed.
He's dead. Like really actually dead.
Son of a bitch.
So the Scooby Gang is talking about how it can't be a ghost when they spot a shadowy figure creeping up on them from outside. This figure is Castiel. He tells Sam and Dean how he ended up in the TV, and the trio tells the Scooby Gang that they're working on a book.
A killer stuffed dinosaur in love. Great title.
So the power goes out and they come across the Phantom, which clearly attacks everyone and leaves ectoplasm on the door it came through. We also come across the next victim.
That's not good.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Come on, gang.
So, do they always just walk away from dead bodies, or...?
They all split up. Dean goes with Fred and Daphne, Velma volunteers to go with Sam, and Cass goes with Scooby and Shaggy.
Wonderful. I once led armies, and now I'm paired with a scruffy Philistine and a talking dog.
Up in the attic, Sam tells Velma that everything is real, and Velma doesn't believe him. Velma then drops a hint about who the main villain of this episode is, and when the two come across a toy chest, they get attacked by a bunch of floating toys. We then see Dean's group, where Dean asks Daphne what her type is. Dean then spots a book on the bookshelf that isn't painted into the library, and they all get dropped into a secret passage where they run into the ghost.
Sorry. Thought it might be some kind of secret passage or... Daphne, you okay? Maybe I should just give you a once-over to make...
We then see our last group, who's somehow being followed by the ghost despite it chasing Dean's group.
Never seen a ghost wear such a ridiculous costume.
So we finally get to the classic chase scene that's filled with a couple of gags. Afterwards, they lock themselves in a room where they're attacked by the ghost. Fred gets swatted against a wall, Daphne and Velma are pushed into a corner, and Shaggy is thrown out a window before Sam and Dean attack the ghost with iron candlesticks. Because of these events, Fred ends up with a nosebleed and Shaggy ends up with a broken arm. Sam tells Dean that they need to tell them the truth.
Look, this Phantom isn't like other ghosts you've faced. He's real.
Look, that isn't a guy in a mask and a costume. It's a vengeful spirit that's come back from the dead.
Werewolves, vampires, demons?
Mm-hmm. We've been stopping real estate developers when we could have been hunting Dracula? Are you kidding me?
There are ghosts. That means there's an afterlife. Heaven, hell. Am I going to hell?
So this is what makes this episode amazing. I've only really brought it up once, but throughout the episode, the Scooby Gang keeps flipping from being driven to just solve the mystery and having a personality. One of the best examples is when they find the second victim.
That's not good. Come on, gang.
So, do they always just walk away from dead bodies?
When they finally learn that the ghost is real, the breakdown makes this episode shine. Everyone gets to, what's the right word? Emote. And they pair this up with Fred bonking his head against a tree during his nervous breakdown.
Are you kidding me?
So Dean gives them a pep talk and they all go to save the day.
Now, you may not have tangled with the supernatural, but you fought monsters. Shaggy figured out that the shark's old iron face road were really just torpedoes disguised to look like shark. Huh? Mamba Wamba?
The space kook?
Oh, I knew it! You love this show too. Space Kook, Ghost Clown, Minor 49er.
So they get equipped to fight and we get this extremely funny line.
Can't use this stuff? That's a Scooby don't.
Dean, we've got to do something. I mean, you guys are amazing. We can help. We have to.
You're right, you can.
So they set up a trap and Scooby, Shaggy, and Cass go to act as bait.
You think the Phantom decided to leave?
No, it's still here, don't worry.
Putting Cass's somewhat deadpan tone with Shaggy and Scooby in this episode was an amazing call. The differing personalities play off of each other perfectly. So the trap fails and Dean's plan falls into play. They drop the Phantom into the trap door from earlier and we learn who the ghost really is.
It's a child.
Wait, why are you trying to kill us?
I'm not. I never wanted to hurt anyone.
Bad man.
His name is Jay.
The dude from the pawn shop.
So Dean promises that they will set the kid free, all they need is a favor.
Should I make another trap?
I can get the shotgun!
I could get 2 shotguns.
Okay, hey, give me a minute. We can't leave him like this.
They reveal who the Phantom is, and all of the fortune was Confederate dollars, which is absolutely worthless. Sam, Dean, and Cass say their goodbyes before getting out of the TV. They release the kid from their pocket knife and go to take care of Jay.
He's been driving people off their property so he could buy it on the cheap. And he's been using his own personal ghost to do it.
But now, that spirit is freed.
They're lying. You think anyone's gonna believe that?
Well, no, but that's why we hacked your financials.
Good enough for Capone, good enough for you.
So that was Scoobynatural, one of, if not the funniest episode of Supernatural. It's easily a 9 out of 10, and the people who worked on this episode clearly love the Scooby franchise. They know how it works and how to break the formula in just the right ways to create a truly funny episode. And if you haven't seen Supernatural before, or just haven't watched it in a long time, take a look at this episode. You don't need to know anything around it to enjoy the episode, so despite it being at the end of the series, I would and have introduced people to Supernatural through this episode. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, if you want to support this channel, the best way is to subscribe and like the video. Also, if you want to see me review something, leave your suggestions in the comments below. And if you want to see each episode early, I have a Patreon, and it's only $1 a month to get everything early. Thanks for watching.